Good afternoon, and welcome to another in our webinars that we are running at the moment from Simply Mail Solutions. And today we're going to be discussing advanced anti-spam and AIP. And I'm delighted to be joined today by with Martin Barber, who's going to help us unravel these two areas and what they mean. So as normal, first of all, just to remind you that we are here 24/7 to help you, to help our customers, and to step you through functionality that you may already have on the solutions that we may already be providing you with, to help you to get the maximum you can out of those solutions. And in this particular session today, to help you avoid spam, which we'll go through in a few minutes time, to ensure that you have emails which are clean and are reliably sent. And as we've said, as normal, we're always be fully operational. So as we've said, today we're going to be talking about spam, and that's not the stuff that comes in a can, which for those that are uninformed stands for special American meats, but of course it is unsolicited email. So perhaps Martin, it really is as a kickoff, perhaps you could just give us a brief overview of the negatives of receiving spam through your email.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Chris. Hello, everyone. So basically, spam is effectively just unsolicited mail, but very similar to what you get in the post, but a digital form of it. And it's obviously it's a major issue with most companies these days because it takes valuable business time, because some spam can look genuine, whereas others can't. That would obviously lead on to security, because some of it can be dangerous, because it can be threatening for things like data breaches, especially if your data is of key importance to your business. And also as well, it's just one of these things that's time consuming, and you need a way of preventing that from happening.
Great. And as our world is always full of acronyms, which we constantly have to explain to the uninitiated. Of course, we now have a word here which is malware. So perhaps you could explain what malware is, and more importantly, what it can do and how it can affect your business and the solutions that you're running.
Yeah, no problem. So basically, malware is just a name for a range of rogue software, and this can be anything from viruses or compromising files that you may get by email, like an executable file, for example. And it can even be things like ransomware, which it can hold you to ransom your files, which we'll talk about shortly. And it just basically it's nasty sort of software which can really impact your business, and effectively some businesses have gone out of business because of it, because of the way that it can take over your machine. And it doesn't just affect Windows machines, it can affect Mac OS as well, and it can also affect some mobile phones, especially things like Android. So it is a key importance that you do have something in place to prevent it from actually happening. And it does come in various forms, like say from email to even things like USB sticks, things like that. So it can come in a wide, it can basically get onto your machine in a wide range of ways, basically.
So anti-malware, which is really malicious ware, I think is the abbreviated term, can do significant damage to both your own PC and IT environment, but also can unwittingly get spread by yourself to other colleagues, customers, suppliers, all other people that you communicate with once it's infected and it is within your machine. And as the key bullet point says on the slide that Martin's just gone through, email is actually it's not the only, but it is the most prevalent way of malicious ware getting onto your system. Once that email has been sent and received and you have opened it, so the key is opening it. once it's been opened, then that malicious-ware can infect your PC in a variety of different ways. And I think that's the key thing that certainly from my perspective, I'd like to get across to you today. And I think that's what Martin has covered. And of course, the next acronym we have here now, of course, is phishing, spelt with a P rather than an F, and ransomware. So Martin, take us through phishing and ransomware.
Yeah, no problem. So basically, phishing is just a fraudulent attempt to obtain sensitive information, things like passwords, credit card details, national insurance numbers, that kind of thing. And it will always, usually, well, most of the time, it does come electronically via email. And it will just be an email. It could look genuine. It could come from your bank and say, we need to confirm the following details. They usually contain links, and the links do look genuine. They look like they are from the bank. But there'll be a typo that you don't notice because you look at it and you think it looks right, but in reality it's not. Or they can use the real address and they can sort of take over it when you as soon as you click on that link, it sort of hijacks and takes you to a page that looks like your bank. You put your details in, and once them details have been entered, it's game over. It's literally they'll have access to your bank account. They can do whatever they like, and it is becoming a more and more prevalent thing over the years. It's more and more common. I've known people, members of my family and friends and stuff, that have actually had similar things happen to them. Ransomware goes on to the extreme. So basically, ransomware is effectively you'll get an email and it'll basically say, we've seen you doing something you shouldn't have been doing. We are now going to encrypt all your files, and if you don't pay us 30 million bitcoins, we will literally send the images that we've got of you to all your friends and family, and your data will be completely erased, and it'll be fully encrypted, and we won't give you the decryption key to read it, so you'll lose all your data, and there's nothing you can do about it. Once that's happened, it's a game over situation. So that is becoming more of a common thing, and it is very scary for some people that don't really understand it fully. So that's the reason why you need a prevention method in place, such as an anti-spam, anti-malware solution.
And I think it's worth saying, and with all of these areas, which all sound very scare tactics, but firstly, they do happen. They're happening every day, and they're happening to businesses every day. And particularly, the most vulnerable are smaller companies, in my view, that do not have all of the technical resource on hand and in-house to support them, which makes it very relevant to partner with businesses that do have the capability to protect you and to support you. I did some work a while ago with the police, actually, and some presentations to talking about this area, and it was some quite interesting statistics, very similar to that of a burglary almost, in that very, very few businesses recover from a major ransomware or phishing attack on their business if they are small companies. They simply cease to trade. It wipes them out. They're no longer able to communicate with their customers, their suppliers, pay their bills, collect money. All of those components which are absolutely tied up in your IT systems, even if you are a single trader up to a multinational corporation, are all done online, and so therefore are all subject to this kind of threat level within them. And the fraudsters, the crooks that are operating in this area, they will fundamentally go for what is the weakest link. And the weakest link is often those companies that do not have the in-house capability to be able to put the protections around themselves, and have not partnered with external organisations that are able to help them put that into place. And so as we get to the midpoint in this webinar today, I would just stress to you, and I will again at the end, irrespective of whether you are an SMS customer, or whether or not you are working with other IT providers, ensure that these protection levels are in place. And that really leads us to talk about advanced threat protection and what that means. And so I'll hand back to Martin now, who's going to step you through advanced threat protection.
Yeah, so basically, advanced threat protection, or ATP as is otherwise known, is just a category of security solutions that defends against malware or hacking-based attacks. So basically, what it does is you enable it on your future spam service or your anti-spam service that you have with us, and what that basically does is it will scan that file with 30 plus different antivirus engines, because not all antivirus engines are going to say there's a virus. Some will say there isn't, some might say there is. So what it does is it scans it over multiple engines to see what basically if it's infected. Most of the time these files are okay, but there is that time that you do get one through, which will be that you will get, say, Avast or something will say it's got a virus, and then Bitdefender will say it hasn't. So what ATP does is it basically just scans all your files or your emails, and it'll basically then work out if it's infected or not, and it'll say yes or no, and then you can go in to review that. On 365 you can do more with it, because you can use it for things like OneDrive and SharePoint. You can scan the files for that purpose as well. And that's purely what ATP really is. It's just an advanced level to your existing anti-spam and anti-malware solution.
Great. Yeah. And what kind of features do we see in ATP?
So basically, ATP features, there is several features that you can that are actually built into the actual suite itself. So it can do things like identify spoof and recognition to identify a sender pretending to be someone else. So you could get an email, as an example, from your bank again, that could look like it's from your bank, but in reality it's not, or it could come from a friend or family member. They've never sent it. So ATP is a prevention method to prevent that from happening. It's not 100%, but it's a prevention method. Nothing's ever going to be 100%, but it will prevent that from happening. It also does things like authenticity checks, which basically means to ensure the integrity of that sender is who they say that is. So it can check to make sure that sender is who it's actually coming from. Now the sandboxing feature is the virus thing that I've just mentioned. What that basically does is if you send somebody an attachment, it will go through all these scanning engines, and what it will do is you can actually view what it will look like if the file opens on your machine in real time, that what it will actually do if it's infected. So it will actually show you on there's like a preview window that you can look at. It will show you opening that file, and if it's got a virus in it, it will show you what that virus does to your machine. So that effectively, that's what the sandboxing thing does. It lets you run it, but not on your machine, but effectively virtually is the best way to describe it. Other features that you get with ATP is you can scan URLs, which means that if you get a link in your email, it will scan that link. On Office 365 and also on our own system, you can enable what's known as safe links, and that will allow you to only open them links which are safe. You add them to a safe list, and it will let you open them. It also, as well, it renames all the links to a slightly different link, and then it goes through a scanning engine, so it scans it again, so it makes it as secure as possible. And then there's, like I said, you also get a notification as well regarding anything that's been caught in ATP. You'll get an alert to say this has been caught in ATP, it needs to be reviewed, and that's all management through a portal, basically.
Great, thank you. And then at the beginning of this, obviously, we referred to yet another acronym in our series of acronyms, which of course is AIP. So could you tell us what AIP is and what it does?
Yes, so AIP is Azure Information Protection, and all that basically is, it's an add-on service for Office 365. And what it basically does, it enables organizations to protect documents and emails by using labels and email encryption. So that's basically what AIP is.
Right. And how does that protect our data?
So it protects the data using what's built into Azure, which is RMS, which is Rights Management Service. And basically what that allows you to do is you can add labels to certain documents and emails. For example, if you've got sensitive email that only certain departments need to see, you can classify them emails or documents so only the finance team see it. And no one else can. It's literally you label documents that you want to limit who can see that, and you can control what access that they have. It also allows you to send encrypted email as well, and you can do things like prevent it from being forwarded. So when you email somebody that's encrypted, you can select an option that says do not allow to forward, and the person that receives it will not be able to forward that email onto anybody else. It's that much locked down. That's what AIP can do.
Great. And then, of course, how does that help us in protecting our documents?
So basically, going back to just what I briefly mentioned, is with documents, what it'll basically do is you can classify them. So you can put labels on them, whether it's confidential or personal or private. You can categorize each document so only a set of people or one person can see that particular information, and they're known as labels, basically, and they're all completely managed through the Office 365 interface. And you can also enable it if you're running Windows. You can use it in the Windows Explorer as well. So you can classify that through there as well, basically.
Great. Okay. And I understand that we can actually integrate this in with our email as well.
We can. This is the encryption service. So basically, when you have the service turned on, so when it's added to your plan on 365, what will happen is in Outlook on the PC, you will basically get an extra icon called Protect. And when you go into Protect, it will give you an option to do encryption. So you can send an encrypted email to anyone. And now how it works on the other side is if they're using Outlook and they're on 365, the email will be visible because obviously it's using encryption end to end, and it's also using Outlook end to end. If you send it to something like Gmail or Hotmail or another email provider, they will get an email with a link in it that says you need, in order to view this document, you need to set up a password to see it. And then you click on the link, you put your password in that it creates, and then you'll be able to view that email online. And that's basically what the email encryption on AIP does.
Great. So we've covered today in this webinar that we've been going through a slightly different profile than what we normally do. We normally talk about products, features, functionality, how they can be utilized to make your business more efficient, save money, increase your or improve your customer client experience, and they're very, very important. But the fundamental core of your IT solution has to be that it is secure. It's secure for your employees and all of the stakeholders within your business, both externally and internally, that work with you. We work and have been working with companies in the cloud arena since 2006, and security is always utmost in our minds from the beginning. It's been an ever-increasing battle and will continue to be so. Each time the crooks get smarter, we get smarter. It's a war that both ourselves and our partners in the security sphere are constantly vigilant and constantly working on. And I would encourage you to review your own systems. If you're a customer of SMS, reach out to us. We'll be happy to step you through the current security solutions that you have in place that you may not be fully aware of, see whether there is anything else that we need to do to help improve those and to be able to give you peace of mind. As always, we've got a UK help desk, and we're more than happy to actually talk to you at any point in time. We use these systems ourselves. We live and sleep cloud solutions, particularly from the Microsoft ecosystem, and we'll be happy to talk to you and step you through them. I hope you found this of value today. So thank you very much, Martin. Thank you yourselves for watching. You can contact us as normal on our sales line, on our support line, which are currently shown on the screen, or of course you can email us or visit our website. Hope to see you again soon. Keep safe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Goodbye.